Hey everybody, my name is Alex with Hake Hardware, and in this video we are going to deploy an autonomous node in Windows 11 using Docker on Ubuntu WSL. So before we proceed, you should have your disks prepped already. That typically will involve getting Ubuntu WSL installed, so you'll have that installed as well. And then you should have Docker installed. There's a wiki link here with a video for each of these, and you should also have Portainer installed. And there is a video for this. I just haven't added it to the wiki. It will probably be there by the time you view this. And then here's some resources. If you haven't forwarded your ports, you're going to want to do port forwarding. That will help with the connections. But let's jump over into our Windows instance here, and we're going to open up Ubuntu WSL. So we're going to right click, go into terminal, and I'm just going to do WSL. And that'll get me right into Ubuntu here. And I'm just going to do cd to get to the home directory. And the first thing we're going to want to do is create the network that we're going to use. So in Docker, we can create virtual networks, and we're going to create a virtual network so that all of our autonomous components can connect via that network. It's just a nice way of implementing it. So you're going to run this command that's in the wiki, sudo docker network create, and then we're going to create a new virtual network with the bridge driver on 172.250.0/16 for the subnet, and the same for the gateway, but .1, and we're going to call it autonomous network. Now I already have this network created, so it's not going to let me do it. But for you, it should give you an ID stating that the network is created, and you can confirm that with sudo docker network ls, and we can see I have the autonomous network already set up here. So the next thing we're going to do is actually go into Portainer. So I'm going to bring up my browser, and for me it is localhost 9443, and it should be for you if you have Portainer and running on your current computer, which most people will have that going. And we'll just go to 9443, and then we'll go into our local instance here, and we'll go into stacks. And then there's going to be a link, and I'm just going to copy the link and paste it in here. And this is a template for your node. So this is going to be basically a Docker Compose, but in Portainer they're called stack files. So we're just going to top right here, copy this whole file, go back and do add stack. We'll do autonomous node, and we'll paste that in here. Now, for the most part, you can keep this all the same. Two things. One is if there's a new version out, currently the latest is November 6th, but if there's a new version, you're going to want to update that. And you can confirm what the latest version is by Googling autonomous subspace, and then go to the GitHub. And on the right-hand side here, we can see Mainnet 2024 November 6th is the latest. So you're always going to want to look for the latest. So I can confirm where I have the latest. Everything else you can pretty much keep default. Down here for a name, you can update this to whatever you want. This is for the telemetry server. You can view basically your node on the telemetry front end, and it'll just display whatever name you put here. And then time zone. So I'm in Phoenix for my time zone, and that's what I have here. So just update that. Then you can see we're specifying the autonomous network, and then we just have some node data volume that's going to be created, and our node data will be stored. So we can just do deploy stack, and our node is now running. So we can come in here and we can see, yep, looks like everything's been detected. We are now going to be syncing, and you're going to see there's going to be, it's going to look a little different. Because node data, this volume node data that we created when we deployed that, I already had my node synced, so it actually just needs to catch up a little bit. But for you, it's probably going to say like syncing 0.0, and your best will be 0. And eventually it will do what's called a snap sync and sync almost to the target. But your best is your node's current block height, and the target is the blockchain's current block height. So that's what you need to get to. All right, let's see, anything else? There might be an error. Let me go over to the browser. So you might see something like, error while dialing the telemetry server. This is just, I get this all the time. It happens. You don't have to worry about that. Here's an example, um, like of a common log you're going to see, like I kind of mentioned before, where the best is 0, and you need to get to this target height. So this was back in 3H where the block height was really high. And here's an example of the snap sync. So you can see it like synced 700,000 blocks per second for a moment there. And I went from 0 to almost current block height. So I still needed to get quite a few, but node syncing should only take maybe an hour. And you should see your peers slowly get up to 40. So right now I'm at 15 peers, but I should see this get up to 40 if I have my ports forwarded correctly. So that's it for your node. We're going to do a farmer or cluster depending on which setup you want to run next, and it'll be very similar to this. So you can basically leave everything open and go to the farmer or cluster deployment wiki. All right, thanks for watching. If it was helpful, please feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.